So I had a cousin one time. He told me that he didn't want to be a cop no more. It's not after what happened overseas. So I said, "Oh, you want to go for the fucking big leagues? Firefighter?" He goes, "Call out the big leagues." He goes, "I've been around the country. I know. I've been a racer. I've been around the world. I was like, Mekong Delta, that type of thing. No one let everybody know where you've been." He's like, "No, it's not like that. Not everything is just America buying or, basically robbing countries wholesale that happen to have a whole lot of dope. And by dope, I don't mean marijuana. I mean like hard body, H to the Izzo. Yeah, yeah. Not everything's built off of nanotech's back. In other words, before all this weaponized fentanyl showed up well, anyway, before we start telling the future again, this is what happens when a kid from Brooklyn decides that he's going, like Mr. Smith, down to Washington, D.C. He says, "Nah, bro. Now, I learned something overseas." I'm like, "What did you learn? Where did you go again?" I really don't remember. Was it Desert Storm? And he was like, "No, no, no. It was Operation, like, Firefox." And I was like, "Bro, like, please, you didn't just say that out loud." So I was like, "What? Did you sneeze?" And he was like, "I'm going to join the CIA." And I was like, "You could be a chef. They're always hiring down there." He's like, "Not that CIA. I mean, with the spies in D.C." And I'm like, "Oh, man, yo, I saw the website. It's kind of, kind of controlly. Like they're asking a lot of weird, specific questions. Like, what do you do? Would you have a bar or a spring if you got chased by bears into the wilderness?" I'm like, "How about I pick neither and fucking walk out of this test?" It's the dumbest fucking question I've ever been asked in my life. How's that for an IQ test, dickhead? And they want to ask you a stupid question, walk away from it. Anyway, this was not what my friend or cousin or this person was. They were about because they were blood in, blood out, dedicated, as if there was like a satellite following them around and their cell phone, whispering subliminally into their ear, and maybe like someone they admired or someone they wanted to be like, or maybe just their dead father's voice over and over again being, "You'll never make me happy until you join the CIA, because then you can do all these things you have to do." Like, "Dad, what's that? I can make you happy even though you're already dead and it was my fault, kind of?" "Yes, son, I'm still here somewhere, maybe riding around on a satellite, but all you have to do is pass the CIA exam and it'll be gravy, baby. We'll be back on the wave, guys." And I'm like, "I want to be like that, sure. Like a wave rider." I'm like, "Ooh, that sounds like that might be dazzling. What's a wave rider?" "You can't know because you haven't passed your EIA test yet." I'm like, "All right, full fucking disclosure. I've done a lot of blow in my fucking life, all right? And you don't have much blow. You're kind of talky. And you're at the wrong bar. People are like, 'Yo, there's a bar people drink alcohol.' And like, yeah, a couple of us have done blow before, but you're clearly like more into the blow than the booze. So maybe you should go to like one of those weirdo nightclubs where people listen to like techno or something, because you seem really overactive." And I'm just like a person who gambles, is like thoroughly fucking Irish. In other words, like, I'm so NYPD that I don't even have a fucking badge. That's how fucking North Bronx Irish I am. And I'm like, "Why don't you become like one man Irish mafia? In other words, carry a pistol and 10,000 bucks and just walk around and the rest will occur." I've seen it happen before. He didn't want to take my bet. He's not alive anymore. But anyway, so I was in this bar. I was trying to figure out how to pass the CIA test. First thing I said, I write down, "Okay, full disclosure, because you can do it by video now. I am not a homo." Two, second thing, I don't really get along with those people who are like that, but I'm not saying that, if my boss was like that at the CIA, that I wouldn't necessarily say I wouldn't take orders from him, because, of course, the country comes first and all that. And I really want to go to another country and basically, like, fuck one of those Muslim women in, like, a maybe too aggressive way, because there's some things I got to work out for myself. But anyway, so then my father's voice said, "Okay, you did the first thing. They're listening. Hit him with another video and hit him hard. How would you have stopped 9/11? Easy answer. Just call in 2 large plain pizzas to the World Trade Center." In other words, that's like a way of being like, "Hey, yo, you might get hit with something. Like, look at the note inside the pizza box. It says, 'Yo, man, like 15 minutes, like, there's a plane with some dudes getting hit with some of that kind of control.'" As if a long time ago some Teutonic knight, hard body brethren type, but who held it down in the proper, respectful manner, waiting for his messages from his altars or his higher level father doodles or whatever these fucking people are into. I really don't fucking know. Basically, like boys from Brazil, it's all like some like Nazi fag shit. Pardon my French. Anyway, you can look up Operation Paperclip later, but you gotta pay me for the real info, baby. Let's get back to what it means to be a cop. And